Level 1. The apprentice. You're 9 years old when your father walks you to the smith's door on a cold morning in autumn. He doesn't say much. He's already paid the bond, 3 shillings and a hen, more than the family can spare. The smith looks at you. He looks at your hands. He nods once. That's the contract. Your father puts his palm on your head, says something you'll remember in pieces for the rest of your life, and walks back down the road without turning around. The forge is hot in a way you didn't know heat could be. It's a living thing breathing in the corner, red and orange and white at its center. The smith hands you a broom. That's your first task. Sweep the floor. Then carry the water. Then more water. You don't sleep on a bed. You sleep on straw near the forge. You don't touch a hammer for almost a year. You watch. The eyes learn before the hands do. Level 2. The bellows boy. You're 11 now, and your job is the bellows. You pump them for hours. Your arms ache in a specific place between the shoulder blade and the spine, and that ache will live in your body for the rest of your life. The master watches the coals. He calls for more air, less air, steady, steady, and you respond like a hand responds to a thought. You begin to understand fire. The yellow flame is hungry. The white core is patient. The blue at the edges is hottest of all, and most people don't know that. You know it now. You make your first nail when you're 12. The master gives you a scrap of iron and says, "Make me something useful." You ruin 3 pieces before you produce a nail crooked, lumpy, the head off-center. The master takes it. He sets it on the bench and goes back to his work. Weeks later, you see it driven into a beam in the workshop wall, holding up a strap of leather. He kept it. You don't say anything. You just keep working. Level 3. The journeyman. You're 17 and your indenture is finished. The master gives you a small purse, a hammer of your own, and a letter sealed with wax that says you're free to seek work in any town that will have you. You walk out of the village you've lived in for 8 years and you don't look back, because you're afraid that if you do, you'll go back inside and never leave. You travel from village to village, working for whatever smith will take a young man with strong arms and decent skill. Some keep you for a week. Some keep you for a season. A smith in the lowlands shows you how to weld 2 pieces of iron together with a sprinkle of fine sand and a perfectly timed strike. A smith in the hill country shows you how to harden a blade by quenching it in oil instead of water. Each shop has its own rhythm. Each master has secrets he learned from his master and won't write down. You collect these like a man collecting coins, one at a time, in a pouch only you can see. Level 4. The settled smith. You're 24 when you find the town. You don't choose it exactly. It chooses you. The old smith there is slowing down. He needs hands, and your hands are good. Within a year, you're running half the shop. Within 2 years, you've married his middle niece. Within 3 years, the old man hands you the keys and goes to sit by the river in the afternoons. The shop is yours now. You hang your own mark above the door. A simple thing. 2 strokes and a circle. It's the first mark you ever practiced as an apprentice, scratching it into scraps with a nail when no one was looking. Now it's burned into every piece you make. The work is steady. Horseshoes, mostly. Hinges. Nails by the 100. You've stopped thinking about the work as work. It's just the shape of your day. The fire in the morning. The hammer through the afternoon. The slow walk home in the dusk with the smell of charcoal still in your hair. Level 5. The craftsman. You're 31 and something has shifted in your hands. You can feel it. The work that used to take you all morning takes you an hour now. And the result is better. You don't know exactly when this happened. There was no single day. It accumulated, the way water accumulates in a cup left out in the rain, and one day you notice the cup was full. Customers start asking for you specifically. They've heard your hinges don't sag after 2 winters. They've heard your blades hold an edge through a season of harvest. None of these things are accidents. You earned each one with iron you ruined and nights you stayed in the shop after your wife had already gone to bed because you wanted to know why the weld had failed. You take an apprentice of your own. a boy of 10. His father walks him to the door on a cold morning. You look at the boy, you look at his hands, you nod once, you hand him a broom. You don't tell him about the years, he'll find out. Level 6, the master. You're 40, and the guild calls you master. The word lands strangely. You've been doing the work for 31 years, since you were 9, and the title arrives now as if to confirm something that was already true. You pay the fees, you attend the dinner, you stand with the other masters of the town and you talk about prices and standards and the quality of the iron coming from the new mine to the east, which everyone agrees is inconsistent but cheap, and which everyone uses anyway, because the customers don't know the difference. You make a sword that year, a useful sword for a town watchman who needs something better than a club. You spend 2 weeks on it. You fold the steel 3 times. You harden the edge and leave the spine soft so it'll bend before it breaks. He carries that sword for the rest of his service. The work outlives you in pieces. Level 7, the specialist. You're 46 and you've stopped making nails. You've stopped making hinges. You make blades now, and only blades. The decision happens slowly. A travelling lord saw a knife you'd made for the butcher and asked who'd forged it. A messenger arrived a month later with an order for 3 hunting knives. Then 6. Then a commission for a sword from a knight who'd heard about you from the lord. You hire a younger smith to handle the common work. You take only the orders that interest you. You charge what your time is worth, and your time is worth more now than you ever imagined it could be. You travel to the city twice a year to buy steel from a merchant who imports it from a country whose name is hard to say. You're apprentices. You have 3 now. Watch you work the way you once watched your master, and you remember that look on their faces, and you try to be patient with them. Level 8, the armourer. You're 52 when the order comes from the castle. A full harness for the lord's eldest son. Plate, mail, helm, gauntlets, the whole suit. You will not make all of it yourself. No one smith makes a full harness alone. You will coordinate. You will forge the most important pieces. You will subcontract the mail to a chainmail maker in the next valley. You are a master of masters now. And the work is no longer just iron. The work is people. You measure the Lord's son in his father's hall. You take notes on a wax tablet. The arms, the chest, the curve of the back, the way he stands when he doesn't know he's being watched, because a man fights the way he stands. You spend 6 months on the harness. The first breastplate cracks in tempering, and you don't tell anyone. You forge another. The second one holds. When the suit is finished, the Lord himself comes to your shop with a purse heavier than any you have ever held. You are no longer a village smith. You are something else. Level 9, the patron's man. You're 60 and you have a workshop with 8 men in it. You rarely strike iron yourself anymore. Your hands are not what they were. The joints in your right wrist swell in the cold. You can still do the fine work, the engraving, the final fitting, but the heavy hammering belongs to younger arms now, and you have learned, slowly and with some bitterness, to let it. The Lord retains you. That's the word the Lord's clerk used in the letter. Retains, as if you were a doctor or a lawyer. You receive a yearly payment, whether you work or not, in exchange for first claim on your shop's output. You travel to the castle 4 times a year for fittings and to drink wine you would never have tasted in any other life. You have a son who works in the shop. He is good. He is not great. You can see this clearly, and it is the kind of seeing that costs you something. He will inherit the business. He will keep it running. He will not be remembered the way you are remembered. You have made peace with this in the way a man makes peace with weather. Level 10, the legacy. You're 73 and you don't go to the shop most days. You sit in a chair near the window of the house your work bought and you watch the road. Your son runs the shop now. Your grandson, 12 years old, was put to the bellows last spring. He is small for his age and quiet, but his eyes are quick, and you've seen him watch the fire, the way the fire deserves to be watched. You think he'll be the one? You don't say this to anyone. A traveller comes through the village in summer, a merchant from the city. He buys a knife. He asks the journeyman who forged it, and the journeyman tells him, and the merchant nods and says he has one of your blades. His father bought it 40 years ago. You wonder where that knife has been. Whose hands have held it? The fire in the shop down the road is still burning. You can see the smoke from your window. Somewhere in a village you'll never visit, a boy of 9 is being walked to a smith's door by a father who has already paid the bond. The smith will look at him. He will look at his hands. He will nod once, and it will all begin again, exactly as it began for you, and for the master who taught you, back through a chain of hands and hammers and fires older than any of the men who tend them. You close your eyes. The hammer in the shop down the road strikes iron. You hear it. Even at this distance, you hear it. You always will.